Hi, I'm Jenna, and one thought-provoking thing I got from the article that kind of shocked me, but shouldn't have, was that there wasn't always children's books. And I forget that it wasn't always a priority for kids to learn to read, and if it was, they didn't get much of a childhood. It was about learning to support your family more than it was to learn to read or to write. Um, in my net mind, I started with early books for children, and it really focused on the sole purpose being to learn. And you have the alphabet and religious texts, and that was it. You either learned or you didn't. And I can imagine that would be so boring. And so I moved on to picture books, which are so fun and playful and bright and inspire so much imagination and make kids who have to learn not only learn but want to and discover what the meaning behind silly things like talking cats and um, whatnot, silly rhymes. And then for my final point, I moved on to not only entertaining children with books, but books that can be cast for a wider audience of adults and children, and how children aren't the only ones that want to be inspired by what they're reading, but and enjoy and be entertained by fantasy worlds that we can only wish existed. Um, the history of children's literature almost reminds me of uh, how I learned to read. And first, you start off with the alphabet and the sounds and how you put it all together, and then you practice using these colorful, playful picture books, and then finally you learn to love to read, and um, you do that with these books that aren't just meant for children, but into your adult ears. And why I think it's so important to know about this history is number one, to be grateful. Be grateful that we don't have to create these books, but that they're so accessible to so many. And somebody went through the effort of parting away from society and making something new and creative. And I think it's especially important for educators and parents is because children have to want to learn. It goes with the saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And that is so true. Kids are so stubborn, and if they do not want to, they won't. But what a better way to entice them with something fun.